All right. Hello and good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. How the heck are ya? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. I'm going to dive into today's daily creative challenge. So, hopefully, you can hear me okay and all that good stuff. So, yeah, let's get this party started. I want to welcome Steve and Chad and Fury and Andreas and Serge. Awesome. So, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of switch my screens really fast if I can make it there. You can see that this is kind of where we're at. So how's everyone doing, huh? You guys doing well? Just living your best life. Morning. Cool. Hopefully you are. It's a fine Tuesday, December 28th, broadcasting from Colorado, as you can tell by my sweater. Right, I didn't need to tell you where I was broadcasting from. So we have a number of lessons that we've been through. We've been through well, actually, what am I saying? We have 9 total. We've been through 6 of them. Yesterday we did simple to complex. Today we're doing sort of solid to liquid. So it's a lot of fun tips that you'll learn in this segment, which I think is cool. Kind of building off of the previous day because we're using distort and transform and puppet warp. Today we're going to get into liquify, smudge brush, things like that. Click get started and approach. I see you over there. Awesome. So we can see right here, this is the file we're going to work with. Okay. Currently I already have that open in Photoshop. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, by the way, here's yesterday's. I still need to work on it because I need to add a lot of that rim light, the highlights along the edge, but this is all about distorting and transforming. Just fun stuff, as you can see. December 8th. Did I say December 8th? Hopefully I did. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Sam Peterson. Always helpful. You always make me smile. You're a good guy. All right, so we're going to have some fun with this image, sort of solid to liquid, right? We're going to get into some cool iridescent colors and make this really fun. That is the goal. Approach this with kind of a creative eye because it is, we're Tuesday into, week 2. So we can go ahead and afford to have some fun in here. So as you may know, what I typically do is I want to remove the background. I hit this little button. It's under the properties panel, right? I've been doing that every day, right? Repetition is, I don't know, the father of mastery. I don't know. I think that sounds like it should be true. So there we go. Just remove the background. Say, what? That's crazy. We can't quite see anything because, we have that checker pattern back there. You can open up your gradients, by the way, and you can click. Typically, it applies to the layer that you have selected, but all you need to do is just drag that beneath. So now we have that behind her, that gradient fill. And notice it did a really good job, sort of selecting her hair. Right, I can always go in and refine that. Just double click on that layer mask that was created. Okay, but what I'm thinking is we make her skin look cool. We are going to apply some fun effects to her dress and then also to her hair. I wanted to do some awesome stuff with her hair. So that is the goal here. So hopefully you guys are up for that, right? So again, just do that, boom. Click the color that you want. Just, oh geez, what am I doing? Any one you want for the gradient fill background, as you can see, right? Have some fun with that. I'm gonna keep mine a nice little green. I think that looks pretty good. Don't get too worried about the colors right now. What we are gonna focus on is, you know what? Let's go ahead and sort of create some colors and then start manipulating those colors sort of in a very liquid way because we've already used the gradient fill. Let's do this now. Let's go back into gradients, open up your gradient panel, go to go down to legacy gradients. This is just an easy way to grab colors because what I want this big rainbow. I want these fun rainbow colors in her hair. Right, so there it is. I can click right there. It's going to go ahead and clip it to that layer that I had selected. Right, you could always unclip it just by holding down the Option key like that, bringing it in and out. Okay, and what happens there, if I can zoom out, right, you can see what it's doing. But these are the colors we get, right? Murray, you are not late. We are going to begin now that Murray's here. Congratulations. Welcome, Murray. Awesome. So let's go into Liquify right up here. So when I click Liquify, it's going to say, hey, you know what? We want to convert it to a smart object. Click OK. I usually convert to a smart object beforehand, but watch what I do. If I mess with it and I click cancel, it doesn't make it a smart object. I just think that that's pretty clever of it. But again, let's go up here to Liquify again on this layer. Convert to smart object using right up here. You can see I just call it like the smudge tool, but it's really not called that. It's called forward warp, which means as you pull forward, it's going to go ahead and distort it. So we can have some fun kind of pushing around those colors. You can get crazy, by the way, and I've done this before. Hopefully that's okay, right? We can have some fun swirling these colors around. I do like to fill it in to make sure it's not going clear to the edge, but you could use the reconstruct brush. You could just hit R and reconstruct it back to where it was. Here's another fun thing you can do, by the way. Check this out. We'll go under the brush reconstruct options. After I kind of mess with this even more, let's go crazy. Ugh, really pull that up, right? And I can change the size of this and everything. But we'll go to this reconstruct button right over here. And then we can roll back, sort of roll back to sort of previous states, if you will, and it starts to remove all of that. So if you maybe mess with it too much, you can do the revert reconstruction, take that back down to 0, and then you can start over that way. So you don't have to use the brush on the whole thing. You can just revert reconstruction. Okay, click OK. Another pro tip right down here. You ready for this? Anytime you have a modal dialog, and you mess with all the settings, you're like, oh, I just want to reset everything back down to 0. Hold down the Option key or the Alt key, and that changes it, as you can see right here, changes it to reset, right? There we go. You can see that. Anyways, I was just kind of reading the message there. But I'd say this looks pretty good. I'm just pushing this content around and getting some swirly colors. Click OK. It's a smart object. There's our fun colors, all that good stuff. I do love Liquify. I'm going to go beyond this because I feel like I do this so much. I got a problem, man. I like the liquid too much. I need to go to like a liquid anonymous meeting or whatever. Okay, here's the problem with Liquify. If I decide to scale it down, Command T, I scale it down, it's going to get all funky, right? Because it applies that Liquify to that whole canvas. See how it jacked it up? You want to protect these pixels. Anytime you want to protect those pixels, convert it to a smart object. Boom, there it is. Convert it to a smart object. Now everything's protected. I can shrink it down. This can go in her hair like so, and that's where it could start. All right. Yeah, I wish life was like smart objects. Liquify, where we can reconstruct. We want to put this in her hair, so let's go ahead and select her hair. I'll use just the quick selection tool. Come in here, clicking. You know, life doesn't have to be difficult. Oh, yes, it can be difficult though sometimes, right? Because what I'm doing is just selecting these different parts. Sometimes I'll use my lasso tool. That's what I want to do in this case. Hold down the Shift key to add to the current selection. Let's just jump in here and quickly grab these pixels. And I won't get too exact because I only have 30 minutes and there's a lot I need to show. There's even stuff I need to show with type, how to sort of like make type look like liquid as well. So there that is. Her hair is selected. Let's remove that little chunk like so. Let me know if you have questions. All right. Donatrius, welcome. Good to have you here. Shah as well. Hello from Pakistan. Tony, what's up? Yeah, so Nick, so the remove background is, I'm gonna just go ahead and duplicate this layer, is a feature that was recently introduced, gosh, maybe less than a year ago, but not at max. All right, so I'm going to invert this selection, right? So, and I'm going to fill it with black, right? So there we go. We just have her hair on one layer, okay? So that's what we have. There's our woman. right? We want this swooshiness and all this Liquify fun stuff to appear in her hair. So let's just move this over, right? We can go in and go ahead and clip it. Create clipping mask, bam. Now it's inside of her hair and it doesn't affect, of course, the rest of her. Cool. All right, what's going on, people? Hello from Pakistan. Yes, that's right. Michelle. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on. This is okay. Man, there's so much I want to do in here, and I better hurry. So the key thing with if you're doing composites, you don't want to, you want to make sure everything kind of has a consistent look. So these detailed flowers and basically her blouse in general doesn't match this fun electric look that I'm going to go for, this fun liquidy, splash of color, if you will, right? So I'll just go in, I'll select her dress, her top, and it looks kind of like a dress, but what do I know? Right, there we go. We have that selected. Just like we were doing before, we can always fill this with a color, right? We can go down there to black, clipping mask, boom, boom, boom. There it is. It's already done. Boom, boom. B for brush. Right click, reset tool. B for brush again. What is going on? Oh, so this sometimes happens. I think I hit a key and it will sometimes highlight a field. So anytime you hear that sound, this sound, oh, it's not doing it anymore. Oh, here we go. You're hitting a key that's not allowed in that dialog box. So I'm trying to increase the brush stroke, but it's giving me that sound, right? So it's just, I have a field that's selected that shouldn't be selected. So just be mindful of that. Typically just means clicking on the canvas and going back in there and painting what you need to. All right, you guys get the idea. Let's move on, shall we? Let's do some fun liquid stuff with her skin, okay? It might get a little silly, and I think that's all right. We could do some Liquify fun look with her skin as well as with type, and I want to show you both as soon as I fix this gradient. There we go, okay? Yeah, it's a gradient. Yeah, it's all black. The reason that's the way it is because I want to just kind of keep it that way for now. All right. Cool. Let's clean this up right here. Zoop, down like that. All righty. Thank you. Nick does it all the time. Oh, I'm not alone. All right. So here we have this. We don't have a whole lot of depth going on here just yet. And we should add some. So let's kind of try this. Let's take this hair right here. Let's just duplicate this layer. Let's just increase the brightness. So we're just going to have some more highlights and stuff in her hair. Just by playing with the levels, right? And we're going to go in here and we are going to add a little chrome to her hair. You ready for this? We'll go to Filter Gallery, okay? Chrome, which actually is already selected to the whole piece, but let's go back. It's gonna be like whatever you last had selected. So this is what it looks like. Colored pencil, have fun with all these artistic filters. There's brush strokes, right? But you would think it would be in distort. There's a couple of them. There's actually 4 of them. If you want to do any sort of Liquify type look, you have glass right here, so it makes it look like you're looking through sort of a dented glass, not quite smoky. Ocean Ripple looks similar, but you can change that. You can adjust this ripple size, as you can see, like I'm doing right now. Okay, but then you also have chrome right in here. This chrome gives you more the look of liquid, right, in my opinion. Okay. Now, yes, I'm a huge fan of Magdal Lopez, by the way, Fury. So let's not kid ourselves. I totally am a huge fan of his. There's another one called Plastic Bag. Oh, here, Plastic Wrap. This is the 4th one. taking plastic wrap, selecting it, right? This also gives you that sort of like wet look, which is fun. Okay, so between plastic wrap and chrome, by the way, I'm having a hard time deciding. You could always add multiple filters at once. So right down here in the very bottom, add as many as you want, stack them up. You can even add multiple chromes as well. So if I have one chrome, click add another, change the detail level. You can see how crazy it can get, obviously. Let's delete that. Let's click OK. There we have that fun, like liquidy, fun color. And that works pretty well. All right, let me do that again because I made a mistake. I like this look, but look what happened. I did not make it a smart object, right? Isn't that fascinating? So sometimes under filters, some will ask you to convert it to a smart object and some won't. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And that's probably why I always convert it to smart object initially anyways. So have that shortcut key, convert to smart object, make it a shortcut, and then go back into filter gallery. The nice thing is that it's actually saved. It saves it, click OK, there it is in the hair, everything looks good. And then from there, we can play with this hair some more as well. There we go, just taking out, say if we just want the highlights of that Liquify, we'll go to our layer blend modes. And yeah, here's if we want to keep the darks, and then if we want to keep the lights. It's typically going to be between these, one of these two. If you want to keep a variation of both, you can go with overlay and soft light, right? So that'll typically make the darks, just applies an overlay mode. I don't even know how to describe it really. But it happens to be one of my favorite ones. So there's overlay. I'm going to go with lighten. You get the idea. Cool. All right. The reason I made this a clipping mask, so let's take a look how this is structured. Let's do rainbow liquify, because that's what I did right here. And then we have the woman's hair right here, okay? I'll often create a backup, Command J, just have that backup. But right in here, this is that mask. So this mask is masking out not only this layer, which it then serves as the clipping mask for these next two layers. So I could always go to this layer and have a brush set to white, right? And I can go ahead and grab some more pixels, as you can see, like that. Okay, so I can kind of, oops, grab more of that edge and have fun with it as well. All right. It's Witcher hair, right? I could play with this some more, right? Right now I'm just using a solid brush. See what that solid brush is doing? Bringing that out like so. I can work with that. I can work with different brushes right in here. I think I'll get into that in a second as well. But there's different spatter brushes that you could use if you want to create water. But let's move on because there's a lot I need to do. Let's let's just type in some text because I wanted to do this with text really fast. Love. Let's type in love. Here we are. Love it. Let's just make this gray. Here's some words that I actually want to make kind of metallic as well. So we'll take this. So first off, Chrome isn't going to do anything with just a flat gray object. It needs to have levels of gray. So double click, add a gradient of gray over that text, then add a bevel and emboss as well, and make sure it's full white and black. Inner bevel, you know, depth is cranked up. So I have this level of just funness going on, right? So that's what it looks like. Click OK. There's my text. I'm going to convert this to a smart object, right? I'm going to go to filter and we will go to filter gallery. And we'll do this now on this text. It defaults to that last setting. And sure enough, here we have this chrome, making it look very chromy, as you can see, right? Click OK. There it is. Okay. You could always add levels to it. That's probably what I would do, is add levels to that particular layer and crank up the brights, for instance, and really highlight it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense, right? We want to put a splash of color in there. We spent all that time working on that fun swirly thing called Rainbow Liquify. Yeah, let's take it. Let's take that. Let's put that in here. Why not? There it is. Our lovely, like, love type. Shrink it down, put it into place, like so. And then play with the blend modes right in here. So we can change that to say lighten. Again, just having fun, guys. Hopefully you guys appreciate this. I'm just kind of messing around, to be honest with you. I'm messing around. Okay, but I'm also going to give you some resources, right? First off, if I really want this to pop, I need to go ahead and change the background to something darker with still like a little bit of color that kind of matches, right? The color coordination of all this is going to take some time, right? But here's some more things. Based on what we know or what we just did with this text called love, we can do the same thing with pretty much anything. So I got a great idea. Let's go in here. We're going to go into this. We are going to increase the canvas size to 2200 by 1000. And right in here, like I said, check out your brushes right in here. This is a new feature. You're gonna, this is what happens. Tell me if you do this, Bryce, or like Chad, for instance, or Mia, Carol, some of our regulars. Does your library, your brush library look like this? Is it just like full of like crazy stuff? And then you might have some favorited, right? Or in your own separate little folder. Well, anyways, that's what happens when you start downloading all these brushes. So you'll go get more brushes and it'll become a nightmare. I want to have a splat, S-P-L-A-T. Here's a spatter wet splat brush. Or I can just search for S-P-A-T, sort of spatter brushes, right? So I could actually take this and variations of it and jump out here. Let's sample that. And then just like add, you know, some fun looks to this. Let's make this even larger. Let's go to another one, S-P-A-T. Oops. I hit enter and that box went away. S-P-A-T. Right. Oh yeah, look at this. I'm just playing around now, but we need to make this look more organic, essentially, right? So that's what we have. Guess what? It doesn't have that bevel and all that stuff on top of it. What do? Let's take this effect, hold down the Option key or Alt key if you're on a PC, drag it up, and now it gets applied to that one. So now it's on both, kind of like that. Saving this, closing this, right? We could see what it does right up here at the top. I'd probably title this Love is Messy. I don't know. Anyways, so that's how you kind of can change that text. And the cool thing is, since this is a smart object, right, we can go back into Filter and we can go back into Liquify. Let's go into Liquify on this text that already has this cool look to begin with. Look at how awesome that is, right? Guess what? Let's show backdrop and let's just show the gradient back there. This is much easier to see. Let's take this down here and we'll like pull it. Like maybe it's dripping like that. So we don't have anything that's quite perfect. Maybe it splats out, but just have some fun with like how this sort of morphs around and everything. So that's all I'm thinking of doing, right? Something kind of like that, just different in areas. Check this out. Use the bloat tool. Right, make it bigger in parts, because what would happen, water would pool up like right here on these ends. So that's something I can add, kind of right there. I don't know. I'm just playing around, folks. Hopefully you appreciate this, and the key thing is we're having fun and we're tricking you into learning, right? That is the idea. Okay, so let's go to play with the hair more. Oh, checking the time. I only have like 1 minute. This is what I would do. I would actually go to the woman herself. I would do a curves on her And then with the curves, we make a big wavy line. So let's clip it. Bam. Clip up, clip down. This is very Magdal Lopez, by the way, which I like. Shout out to him. I'm like probably one of his biggest fans. I know he has lots of them. But now we have that there. So see how that starts to match. And the cool thing is for curves, we can also blend it with the original, which is what I would do. Wait for it. Right, so just kind of bring back parts of her face if I want to. Add some more levels to it as well, just to brighten it up too, right? So let's brighten her up. See, like that. That's what I'm going for. That's cool. Hopefully you guys get the idea, right? Just having fun, essentially using Liquify and some of the other effects. And yeah, hopefully you guys are into it. Go ahead and output that, or whichever one you want. Add your name in there. It could be a picture of you. Just have some fun with, again, Chrome, Liquify, and using Liquify on different layers. So thanks so much for watching. We, if I can hop over here, have the wonderful Julia Zuavo for day 2. This is going to be a lot of fun. And Julia, just a fun, full day for you. I'll leave you to it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.